Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're reviewing a modified Land Rover Defender V8. This is one of the coolest builds I have ever seen done on a Defender, and it's got the V8, guys. Anyways, link to the Mercedes here in Salt Lake's website in the description down below. They're the ones that are providing the vehicle. If you have any questions, just ask for Dylan. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Now, powering this is a supercharged 5-liter V8 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Land Rover offers two different versions of the V8. There's the loaded up one that produces 518 horsepower and then 461 pound-feet of torque. And then there is the regular SE that produces 493 horsepower and then 450 pound-feet of torque, not 500, 450 pound-feet of torque. I'm pretty sure this is the first version because it's a 23 model year, but I might be wrong. I don't have a window sticker to verify. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So we're mostly going to focus on the mods. You guys can see we've got the Expedition 1 off-road decal. We've got a roof rack up top with the light pods there at the top as well, which is really cool looking. And then we've got this aggressive brush guard here, which looks great with the Defender's style. Obviously, there's practicality to it. We've got the fog lights down below. We've got a winch built into this bumper as well. And something that I've noticed about this Defender is it is way too clean. Like you can see back there, there's not a speck of dirt. So the thing that I'm trying to say here is I don't think this Defender actually ever went off-road. No judgment, but I think this was a mall crawler. Now our turn wheel setup is 275 by 55 by 20 in the front and over in the rear. And this is one downside about the V8 Defenders. 20-inch is the smallest wheel that you can work with on this because of the size of the rotor and caliper on it. But yeah, pretty aggressive tread pattern. Now I'm guessing this probably has the lift rods. You can see here at the area, and this is another thing that showed me, like there's no dirt underneath here. Like this is an area that is not impossible to clean, but harder to clean, and I don't know, looks very, very clean to me for something that might have gone off-road. Anyways, you can see Defender here on the side. It's cool to the stickers on this. See the whole decal goes all the way across. This one has the storage here on this side, and I'll give you guys a side view. This is why I think it's got lift rods or something, because you can see how the stance is just taller than a regular Defender. Plus I think you have to do that to fit these bigger tires. But either way, it looks really cool, like a straight up safari vehicle. And that roof rack up top's also really cool. And then we have an aftermarket bumper, which has this practical use of allowing a bigger spare tire compared to stock, because if you had this thing on the swing gate, I don't know if that would be the best thing. I love the exhaust tips there. Really aggressive stuff. You got the tinted, so yeah, this is the 525 because the 525 has the tinted taillights. Ladder from the factory as well. Now this is actually really cool. So this still opens up like normal. It's heavy, like heavy as can be. You really gotta muscle it. Like this strut is not going to be enough to help out with opening that, but still cool that you get that. I gotta look more into this company. I didn't know about Expedition 1 before. I know some people will be like, Ben, you've been living under a rock. It's probably true. Anyways, we've got air suspension adjustment here in the rear to help out floating up stuff. Got the cool Alpine windows that come with the Defender. Looks like this is just what is this? This is probably for the winch. Yeah, this looks like a winch cable. So, got all that. See how easy, yeah, you just gotta muscle it a little bit. Interesting how heavy that is compared to like a Jeep with a 35. But either way, this thing looks amazing on the outside. This is what we all wanted from the Defender, but you gotta modify it to get it. And then a quick look at the rest of the interior. So just the back seat area, you've got nice trim all over. Premium looking seats and all of that. And then popping up front, same thing with all the trim. As you can see, fancy. And then yeah, you've got the Alcantara steering wheel. So yeah, this is a loaded, this has got to be a regular V8. 12,000 miles on it. Listen to that. Like, oh, that sounds so good. That's crazy. Closing the door, solid. And then you've got stuff like Land Rover's 360 camera. This has the bigger screen. You've got dual zone climate, heated and ventilated seats built in. You can still adjust the air suspension. To my knowledge, with lift rods, you just can't adjust as high. Like, it just won't go as high. But yeah, you still have the adjustment there, all the drive modes and everything as well. Cup holders. And this one has the cool box from the factory, which is a nice feature to have. Nice trim here on the top. We also have the camera rear view mirror. And then we've got a panoramic sunroof with this as well, which would obviously, let's see. The roof rack's actually open in the center, so it doesn't really block. We're gonna close that so it's not too bright. But yeah, this one's going for like low 90s, low $90,000 range, which I don't think is a price premium on a V8 with this many miles. I think it's just selling for as a regular one. So if you want a modified one, it looks like you're getting the parts for free. You know, I'll tell you guys, I'm pretty hyped to review this. I've always wanted to review one of these new Defenders modified. So it does have the locking, yeah, I was going to say locking. See, there's a window sticker in here. Nope. So let us see how this performs. Gotta be slow through the line. The one thing with this new Defender is it is a pretty big vehicle, not just in terms of like the height obviously, but also the width. It's almost 80 inches in width, and so, you know, when you compare this to, like, I don't know, say like I've got a new Land Cruiser, for example, that's in like the 70s, and so it definitely has a larger size. But the benefit is the interior feels massive. It feels very spacious in here. The suspension dampening is better than I expected it to be. Again, I've never driven one of these Defenders that's lifted. Again, the most common, I don't know what this has, but the most common lift is the lift rods, because like a subframe lift with one of these is thousands upon thousands of dollars, but lift rods are just a few $100. What it does is it tricks the air suspension and tricks it to stay at a higher height for neutral, which means that, yeah, you've got less dampening, but then you sit at a higher height so you can fit bigger tires and everything underneath. But I imagine that probably wears out the system faster too when it comes to reliability. Man, there's a lot of, oh, that's why we're getting into rush hour time. I was like, why is there so much traffic down this road? This is usually not a terribly busy road on most days. Initially setting off, what I'll say is the V8 is wonderful. You get that instant response because it's supercharged V8. And surprisingly, this actually drives pretty darn well with the suspension comfort. The tires are a little bit noisier. Still handles really well. It feels like a tank. It's cool to see the brush guard. Oh, yeah, tires are pretty noisy. But continuing along, some stuff that I'm noticing with this is it's firmer than a Defender that isn't lifted. Like it feels firmer when I'm going over the bumps. It's not uncomfortable. It's still very comfortable, but it doesn't have that same squishiness that an air suspension Defender normally has, because it just doesn't have as much to cushion it. So there is a little bit of a difference with that. Auto stop start the V8. Interesting. Very interesting. So much power. It's very smooth too. And something that's also fascinating is the unibody construction with this. And so that makes it a lot stiffer compared to most SUVs that you do this with, because they're body on frame. The benefit is on road, even though this is a big heavy vehicle, top heavy too, right, with everything this has going on, it still handles pretty well. It's quite impressive. Yeah, so the auto hold, yeah, because like I'm usually not a fan of auto hold, but it seems pretty, and it seems like it's a pretty seamless system. Such a smooth powertrain. I guess that would be one thing to get the V8 over the inline 6 is just the smoother power delivery. It's like instant with the response. Yeah, it's crazy just how it just, boom, revs right up. It's very fascinating to experience that. That sounds good. That is nice. I'm impressed. I am genuinely impressed. This drives really well. I thought this was going to drive like crap because, yeah, again, with how firm this is. I do want to drive, I do want to go up the driveway with it just to see. Ooh, the braking was weird there. So normally, like, I felt like I had to, like, I pressed in the brake pedal a little bit and then it didn't do much. And so I had to, like, really, my brain was like, boom, to get it. So, yeah, the brake pedal seems, with these bigger tires, seems to be a little bit less linear. Okay, so we're going to be getting over to the steep driveway in a moment. I know this obviously isn't like the coolest test on the planet, but this will at least show me one last component of the suspension because it's kind of a steeper driveway. Just to see exactly how stiff this setup is. Yeah, it's pretty stiff compared to stock, but it's not bad. So overall, really cool build. Really cool build. I like this. I like how this is set up. And this is kind of what I thought about. Man, this is tight. Sorry, I just don't want to scrape into a Volvo. This is what I thought about doing to my wife's Defender when we had it, but we decided to get rid of it because of the steering issues. And then we also had to replace coolant line at 10,000 miles. We didn't, it was covered under warranty, but still had to be replaced after only 10,000 miles, which was kind of interesting to see. But yeah, this kind of, it makes me wonder what it would have been like. I don't know if I'm sold on the idea of like these Defender builds, but still a really cool setup. And the new Defender has the craziest four-wheel drive system on the planet. Like it's watch the off-road videos of these. It's crazy what they can do. But either way, let me know what you think.